Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using the 78 Tarot Nautical tarot deck. And before we dive into this week's reading, I want to let you know that I am offering private readings on my website for a limited time, just for the month of January. And I typically only offer private readings once a year. The rest of the year I devote to teaching tarot, but in January I like to do readings. So if you would like a reading from me, now is the time, and I'll put a link in the description box below this video on how you can order a reading from me. Okay, so let's get started. So the first card is going to represent Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. I just want to make sure there's not too much glare. I think I'm just going to close my curtain here. Okay, so we're starting off the week, Monday and Tuesday, with the Page of Pentacles. And I'm just going to look a little bit more closely at this card. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot to work with on this card. My first impression is that the beginning of the week is a time for attaining goals and really going for what's important to you and really being able to focus on something. It's also a time for learning. And this is something maybe to remind yourself if you're getting frustrated that you haven't achieved something yet, or if you're frustrated at, how you haven't achieved something in the way you thought you would, reminding yourself that you're still kind of learning the ropes in whatever it is that you're working on. So the beginning of the week is a good time for also just in general learning new skills, learning a new skill set. But also it's a good time for focusing in on work and getting work done and that sort of a thing. And I'm just going to look at this card one more time to see if there's anything else that jumps out at me. I also kind of get the message of keeping your eye on the prize and keeping your eye on what the, I don't want to say the end goal, but kind of keeping your idea or your eye on, well, what's the end goal here? What are you going towards? And making sure that your actions and the things that you're putting your time and attention on are in alignment with, where you want to be going. And then the middle of the week, Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, I love this one. Okay, so this is the Seven of Swords. And oftentimes I kind of struggle with interpreting the Seven of Swords, but I love how the artist has depicted this particular card. So here we have the Seven of Swords for Wednesday and Thursday. And the message here is that appearances can be deceiving. Just because something looks new and shiny and glossy, it doesn't mean it is. So really be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for things maybe not appearing as they actually are. People can be deceptive, and people often maybe aren't even deceptive on purpose, but they will present themselves in a certain way. Sometimes people present themselves how they want you to see them, but not how they actually are. And so the message with this card is to look beyond appearances. Don't be fooled by, I want to say first impressions, but don't be fooled by a glossy cover. Look a little deeper than the surface. At the same time, this message is about authenticity and the fact that we have many different parts of our being. We're not just one-dimensional creatures. And when I look at this card, I think of our shadow side, our dark side. We all have a part of ourselves that is maybe childlike and innocent and beautiful and wonderful. And then we also have the shadow aspects too. We have kind of a crappy side to our personality. And you may not even think of it as being a crappy side, but the shadow side, it's not necessarily the bad side, but it's those shadow aspects that we often don't like to look at, we don't like to acknowledge, and sometimes we might want to just kind of brush them under the rug and keep them hidden from most people. So the message of the Seven of Swords is about embracing all aspects of yourself, and the challenge is to be as authentic as you can comfortably be. And as we move into the end of the week, as we finish up the week with Friday, Saturday, Sunday, here we have the Ten of Pentacles. Nice, okay. So the Ten of Pentacles represents attaining something. Because it's a 10, it's sort of the end of that suit. So it's, you're wrapping things up, you're coming full circle. There's a certain level of completion and a certain level of attainment with this card. So I feel like a lot of the goals that you maybe set out to achieve at the beginning of the week, which is kind of represented by the Page of Pentacles, you're able to see those goals to fruition. You're able to attain those goals by the end of the week. The Ten of Pentacles is also a card that, to me, speaks about money and your relationship to money, and earning, spending, all that kind of stuff. And it really encourages you to not be afraid to take a really close look at your finances and see, where your money is going. What are you spending? What are you spending your money on? And where's your money coming from? What's paying the bills right now? And really getting a sense of, what's flowing in, what's flowing out, and getting kind of honest with yourself about money. The more you're able to do that, and I feel like this kind of goes with the theme of the Seven of Swords. It's about not being afraid to take a clear, honest look at yourself, who you are, and your life, including your finances. And the more honest you are with yourself, the more, and I mean, that process is not easy in the beginning, but the more at ease you're going to be in the long run. So that process of organizing your finances and taking stock it can be very, very difficult and uncomfortable initially, but you will feel better in the long run if you do that. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out and look at all three cards together and see if there's anything else that's jumping out at me. And as always, I invite you to have a look at these cards as well, and feel free to share your own interpretation of these cards in the comment section. So to me, it feels like the beginning of the week is a good time to learn something new. It's a good time to prioritize and maybe even consult like a mentor or someone for some advice. Or not even necessarily advice, but sometimes it's helpful to have someone as a sounding board for some of your ideas or issues that you're dealing with right now. So the beginning of the week is a good time to kind of get your priorities straight, set your goals, ask for advice if you need it. And the middle of the week, it's almost like events will kind of force you to take a look at yourself and maybe even acknowledge your shadow side. But more than anything, events are going to really encourage you to be as authentic as you can be. And sometimes when you are authentic, other people don't like it. And, people talk about being authentic like it's this natural, easy thing, but it's actually really challenging. And there's real consequences to being your authentic self that sometimes we don't realize until we actually are authentic. So that's something to keep in mind. But it feels like events will conspire to really encourage you to be more authentic and really express yourself and step into who you really are. And by the end of the week, it feels like we end things on a really positive note here. There's going to be opportunities to, I think, improve your finances, take a close look at them, get organized. And I also feel like the Ten of Pentacles is a really good card for business. If you're doing something with your business, this is a card that says, you know, everything's going to work out, everything's going well. So it's a very, very positive card. So that has been your weekly tarot card reading. I hope you found this reading helpful. And if you want to learn more about tarot cards, you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful week.